Hey, what's up Chemical Guys family? Joey here, and today we're taking you guys back in time with this old school Chevy pickup truck. Now today we're going to show you guys how to clean, shine, and protect your classic ride and give it a showroom shine. Alright guys, so we're just going to go ahead and jump right in. So the first thing that we want to go ahead and do is clean the paint. So as you guys can see, this car looks great from afar. However, once you come up close, you'll start seeing that there's a light layer of dust, debris, you have some bird droppings here and there. And as you guys can see, I'm already prepared with some speed wipe. Now, I'm not gonna give this truck a full deep wash or anything like that, simply because this car is relatively clean. It sits in a garage, it has a light layer of dust, it's nothing crazy, and we can pretty much knock it out in a matter of minutes just by giving it a cool little wipe down. And with a product like Speed Wipe, you can actually do it very quickly and very safely, and that's exactly what it's meant to do. All you have to do is simply spray a nice fine coat onto the area that you're applying it to. I'm gonna clean this fender here. And then what I'm also gonna do is just simply spray about 2 sprays onto a premium microfiber towel. This is a silk lined towel. This is a very premium grade towel. And this is gonna ensure that we don't scratch the paintwork as we're wiping. And as you're wiping, you know, it is very lightly dusty, so it's not like we have to go crazy as far as like the rolling, but I'm still gonna do it anyways just to ensure that we don't create any kind of hard dirt lines on our towel, which can lead to scratches and swirls. And then I can also just flip my towel to another smaller side and just continue with this process. And I'm just gonna go ahead and go around the truck and pick up this light layer of dust and debris that's on the surface so that we can quickly get right into the next step, which is clay barring the paint. So as you guys can see right here, I just finished wiping down the fender, and as you guys can see, we picked up a pretty significant amount of dirt and grime that was sitting on the surface. Now I know with a cutter like this, the camera may not be able to capture it very well, but you can definitely see right here on this bright red towel, the layer of dirt and grime that we've removed from the paint. Alright guys, so now that we're finished cleaning the surface with Speed Wipe, now we can move on to the clay bar process to decontaminate the paint. Because I do want to polish this paint just because I know that we can definitely bring out a deeper, more bolder shine. So we're going to have to clay bar the paint in order to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my clay bar right here. Now the clay bar of choice for this car, seeing to that, you know, it's garage kept, it's well kept care of, we're going to be going with our light duty clay bar. Now the reason we're going with the light duty is because, as you guys can hear, I'm not sure if you guys can hear it so much, it has like a light layer of contamination, so you can definitely hear it. It's not too bad as like opposed to like a super old car that's never been clay barred before, so that's great for us. And that's going to allow us to have a smooth time with this, the light duty clay bar, and that's going to allow us to just glide right over the paintwork. So I'm going to start off this process by simply spraying down my clay luber on the area that I'm going to be claying. So in this case, I'll start off right here in the hood, and I'll show you guys just how quick and easy it is to decontaminate your paint. For you guys that have never done this before, or maybe you have, you know, it's extremely satisfying to remove all the embedded impurities that are within the paint. And for those of you out there who have not clay barred your paint, this is going to restore the smooth, soft, and supple feel of your paint. So it's going to restore that glass, slick feel. It's going to remove any kind of rough feel of your paint. And in some cases, if you have like a lighter car, like a white car, you'll start seeing like some brown and yellow specks on your paint. All that stuff is embedded fallout that lands on your vehicle, and the best way to remove it is by cleaning your paint, just like what I'm doing right here. As you guys can see, it's not super hard to do. It's actually very easy and very satisfying. It's just gliding this clay bar over the paintwork with your clay lubricant. It's that easy. And all you have to do is just go all around your vehicle. I know I'm kind of all over the place right here, just because this vehicle does have, you know, air suspension. So I'm just kind of working my best around the car. And I'm just going to go ahead and pretty much mimic this process all around. So now that I'm done with this section of the hood, I can go ahead and grab my towel here and simply wipe off the excess of the clay luber from the paint and restore that nice, soft, supple feel. And now it's ready for the polishing process. All right guys, and just so you guys can see right here, even though you guys may have not been able to see it on camera, check out my towel. Now that is all embedded contamination that was within the paint. Now this car, like I mentioned, it does look like it's been taken care of. However, you never know. You know, the owner of this car just picked it up. He doesn't know what's on the paint, and it's always a great idea, you know, even with the brand new car, to clay bar it to remove any kind of impurities and restore that glass smooth feel. And if you're gonna polish, then you can also have it ready for polishing as well, which is what we're gonna move on to right now, so stay tuned. All right guys, so now that the paint is fully clean and decontaminated, now we can get into polishing. Now, one thing about polishing that I do want to kind of mention before we do anything at all is to just address the paint. Now, a couple things before we start is that as I was wiping it down, I did notice that there are some sections where the paint is peeling. You know, that's to be expected. This truck is old, it has original paint, and there's bound to be some imperfections out there. So I'm gonna do my best to stay away from those areas simply because I don't wanna lift up the paint and do anything aggressive, which brings us to my next point, which is polishing the surface. Now, I know you guys know a lot about, you know, cutting scratches and swirls, but did you know that even some of our finest polishes like P4 remove fine scuffs and scratches? Now, that's the combination that I'm gonna be using. I'm gonna be using my TORQX with a 3-inch backing plate and a 4-inch pad with the white Hexlogic polishing pad because I'm gonna give this car a polish. I'm not gonna do anything aggressive. I'm not going super aggressive in terms of using an abrasive compound, an abrasive pad, and, you know, cutting heavy layers of your paint. In this case, I'm gonna do it low and slow. So we're just gonna be using a fine approach, white polishing pad with some P4 Precision Paint Perfection polish. And this is gonna do an incredible job at removing light scratches, swirls, oxidation, and restoring the best clarity finish. So that's what we're gonna do right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and start off right here on the fender, just because it's a lower area. And another thing to mention is that I'm not gonna go in a very high speed setting just because the paint is sensitive. I don't really want to do anything aggressive, so that's another great way to just kind of give it a nice soft touch. Just use a lower speed setting. So in this case, I'm going to grab my P4 Precision Paint Perfection polish. I've already shaken it up, and I'm going to apply about 4 drops onto my white Hexlogic pad here. Close that up, and then I'm just going to give it a very, very light spritz of pad conditioner. So now that I've sprayed pad conditioner on here, I can start polishing the paint. And one other pro tip for you guys, wrap your cord over your shoulder, because if you don't, it's gonna be banging up against your paintwork. So just wrap it over your shoulder and you shouldn't have that problem. And as you guys can see, I am using this smaller backing plate just because if I were to use a bigger backing plate, I would not have the precision to work with the beautiful curves that this car has. So as you guys can see, you have a lot of curvature here, curves here. It's pretty much a whole curvy car. So this smaller backing plate is gonna allow me more precision so I get the best polishing finish on every section of this truck. So right now what I'm gonna do is spread out the product on speed setting 1. I'm gonna spread it out onto this top section of the fender here, and then I'm gonna turn it on to speed setting 3. I'm not going to the high speed setting because I wanna give it a more sensitive touch. All right guys, so now that I'm done with this top section of the fender, I'm gonna grab my microfiber towel and simply buff off the residue of the P4 Precision Paint Perfection polish. Now this paint was not terrible to begin with, and that's why we went with the fine polish like so. So pretty much our mission today with this polish was to just bring out the ultimate clarity, shine, and just smoothen out the paint finish. That way we have the best results possible so that whenever you apply a glaze, sealant, or wax, it's gonna have the best finish, shine, and bond possible. All right guys, and would you look at that? It looks incredible, and I cannot wait to do this to the rest of the truck. But before we get into the rest of the truck, there's one last thing that I do want to show you guys. So we talked about how very curvy this vehicle is. Now, if you guys join me back here, you'll see that in an area such as this right here, it's gonna be extremely difficult to get the machine polisher in there, which means that we're gonna have to most likely polish this section by hand, and I'll show you guys how right now. All right guys, we're back, and as you guys can see, I have my HexLogic hand pad here, and this mimics the exact same material that we use with the machine, with the other pad. However, it's in a nice and convenient handheld form. So I can grab it with my hand, get into all these hard to reach areas with ease, and you pretty much use it the exact same way. So with this, I'm gonna apply the same exact product, gonna grab some P4 Precision Paint Perfection Polish, apply a few dabs onto my applicator here, and then I'm just simply gonna work it in. Now I know these areas right here, they're kind of hard to see anyways, but hey, you know what? For you guys out there that actually pay attention to these details, that's exactly what we're showing you guys here today. So you can just glide it left and right, up and down in a crosshatch motion, just like how you would with a machine. However, now you're polishing these hard to reach areas by hand. So if you guys ever do want to polish by hand, you can use an applicator like this in order to do so. And the only difference is obviously the power. So I'm not doing it as effectively as I would be doing it by machine. However, it's still making a difference, and I can still achieve some pretty great results by doing it by hand. All right guys, and that concludes this section and just the little area that I wanted to show you guys on how to hand polish. Now what I have left to do is to polish the rest of the truck. So I'm gonna go ahead, polish up the rest of the truck, and be back with you guys for the next step in this detailing process. All right guys, so we just finished polishing the truck, and now it's time to move on to the next step. Now right here we have a glaze, which is gonna enhance your paint by filling in any kind of micro swirls, scratches. What it does is it temporarily fills them in, and it gives your paint much of a deeper foundation. So it gives it a deeper shine, deeper gloss. So for you guys out there that are looking for a great and easy way to intensify your shine, a glaze is one of the best possible ways that you can do it. So this is very easy to use. It goes on just like a wax. If you guys know how to apply a wax, you guys know how to apply this product to your truck. And I'm gonna show you guys how easy it is to give your car intense shine in a matter of minutes. So just like a wax, you wanna shake it up first, and I'm gonna be applying it by hand with a microfiber applicator. You can apply it with your DA polisher with the finishing pad. However, I kind of like a little bit more applying it by hand, just because this car does have a lot of curvature. So just to kind of give it a nice even coat all around, this is going to ensure that I have a nice coat, because I can maneuver my hand very easily all around the truck. So now that it's shaken up, I'm going to apply a couple drops onto my applicator here. So what I'm going to do is apply about 6 drops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Close my spout. And then what I'm going to do is blot it out onto the section that I'm going to be applying it to. So blotting it out just ensures that you have your product nice and evenly distributed on the panel that you're going to be applying it to, just so that you don't have a heavy sediment on one area and like not enough on another. So now that you have that set up, all you're going to do is just start going left and right. And you guys can see right away, I get that nice even coat of glaze all along my paintwork. And you can add glaze to your painted surfaces. You can also apply it to like glossy plastics, like, you know, piano B-pillars and any other kind of sort of glossy plastics as well. In this case, we're applying it to the paint, and we're doing our best to apply a nice even coat. And the best way to do that is just by going left and right, up and down. So right here, you see me kind of overlapping my first coat by about 50%. And this just ensures that the product that is excess on that first pass just kind of gets passed along to the next one. And once you have a nice even coat and everything looks all nice, you'll see that it has a heavy haze. So it doesn't look as shiny as the areas that you haven't covered yet, which is fine because you're letting that product do its job, which right now is filling in minor imperfections. Even though we gave it a polish, we just gave it a fine polish. Now the paint is very hard to see, like scratches and swirls. So even with the product like this, it just ensures you that you're like 100% of the shine and foundation that you can get it at. All right guys, so at this point of the process, don't wipe it off. You actually want to let that sit for about 10 to 15 minutes for it to properly bond and fill in any kind of micro swirls and imperfections in your paintwork. So at this point of the process, my best recommendation is to do the entire truck, because by the time you finish the entire truck, it's already going to be about 15 minutes, and as you're going around, you can kind of just come back around wiping it off. So it just makes it very easy and convenient so that you know where exactly you started and you know how to come around, because obviously you just went through it. And one quick thing before I move on, you guys saw me apply apply 6 drops onto that first fender. Now, right now, our microfiber strands are coated with Glossworkz Glaze, so that means that you don't have to apply 6 more drops. In this case, I'm just applying 3 more drops just because the strands are already coated with the Glossworkz Glaze, and it's just gonna stretch it out. You know, less is more with this product. A nice fine even coat ensures that you wipe it off nice and evenly and you don't waste your product, and it also makes it easy to wipe off. So right now I'm gonna go ahead and continue with the rest of the truck, and I'll be right back with you guys once I'm done. Alright guys, so now that we are completely done wiping off the layer of glaze, now it's time to top it off with a nice fine layer of wax. Now what better way to conclude this detail than with the high quality and refined hybrid wax such as our pure Concours 50/50 paste wax. Now this right here is a blend between a white and a yellow carnauba oil, which brings out a nice deep radiant shine and a nice sharp finish. So this is perfectly going to complement the incredible shine that we have going so far, and it's extremely easy to use, and I'll show you guys how right now. So what you want to do is start off with a foam applicator. Now you can also use a microfiber, you can also apply by machine. However, these paste waxes, they're ideally best applied by hand with a UFO applicator such as this one. So as you guys can see, the wax, it's actually a hard form of wax, so it's extremely refined and it's not liquidy like most cream waxes. Now this right here, the way it spreads is, you know, you're gonna grab your foam applicator and then you're gently just gonna dab it onto the wax, and you'll see right there that I have some right there. Now the foam actually creates heat, which kind of melts it and kind of creates more of like a buttery kind of creamy texture, and it allows you to easily apply a perfect layer of paste wax onto your vehicle. And I like to just kind of start off by applying just a little bit, and then I come back and I just grab a little bit more and then just continue with applying it. And as you guys can see right here, it goes on just like a traditional cream wax. The only difference is that this is much more refined. So this is gonna offer you a much deeper level of gloss and durability of protection. So this is easy to apply, gives it a nice deep radiant shine. As you can imagine, if you have a beautiful paint color like this, you wanna make sure that you are applying the best form of wax and or paint protection in order to bring out the utmost shine, and that's why we're going with the high quality paste wax. So right now what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna pretty much finish up the rest of the truck. I'm gonna apply it to all the painted surfaces. You can also apply it to glass as well. However, I'm just gonna go ahead and use a traditional glass cleaner to clean the glass, and then we're just gonna hit up the rest of the truck with just some fine details. As you guys can see, the front over here, the grill, it's a chrome grill, and we're just gonna go ahead and take care of it. We still have some residue from the clay lubricant. That's completely fine. We're just gonna go ahead and wipe that off and hit it with some light metal polish to restore the shine and protect the metal finish. Along with the wheels and any kind of exterior trim, we're just gonna go ahead and address them and get on our way with this truck. All right guys, and that wraps it up. Check out the results. This thing looks incredible. What do you guys think? Leave your guys' rating in the comment section down below right now. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to give us a like, and if you haven't done so already, make sure to subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss out on any of our new sweet videos. My name is Joey, this is Chemical Guys Detail Garage, and I will see you guys next time.